My approach has always been that masculinity is more, it's not a swaggering, strong man who hurts people. That's not masculine. That's actually childish. He's just in a grown up body. Masculinity is embracing your responsibility. And this is something I know that you and I align on. So if a man's responsibility is to care for others and provide stability and build, and I know that you've responded well to that because you build and you're careful. Do you think the world needs more masculinity in it or less masculinity?
I think the world as a whole definitely needs more masculine men. And you rightly pointed out, Adam, saying that, these men that actually react and beat their women probably, right, are actually not men. In my terms, they are weak, they are emotional. And I think as a masculine man, you are supposed to provide and protect. That's what I always say. As a masculine man, these are your two primary duties. You need to provide, you need to protect. Provide for your family members, not only for your family members. Once you're able to provide to your family members, you need to actually see how can you provide more to your neighbors than to your community. And then you keep building on based on that. That is what a true masculine person is. And at this moment where, I know there are a lot of people right now in this day and age that have a different perspective altogether, where they say, do you need too much masculine? Is someone too masculine? Is this toxic masculinity? I don't believe in all of that, right? Because I believe it's either masculine or it's feminine, right? Either the person is a masculine person who's always looking at providing, protecting, and a masculine person is someone who, I think it's an energy in people that are more driven, they are more passionate, they are self-sacrificing, they will do things that they think is right. Those are masculine traits, I would say. And again, it does not necessarily mean women cannot be masculine, right? These, as I mentioned, these are traits that can be held by anyone, but majority of the times, provide and protect, these are a man's primary responsibility.
We used to have this term here in America and in English that we don't use anymore, right? There's masculine and there's feminine, but there's a third word that nobody talks about or uses, which is effeminate. An effeminate man is a man whose masculinity he has denied, he has rejected, he has abandoned his own masculinity. That's a word we don't use much anymore. Is that maybe what's going on? Are you seeing not that men are toxic in their masculinity, but they're abandoning the very concept of masculinity? Could that be what's happening?
I think yes. I think if you look at, people have options, right? People always have choices, either to do good or to do evil, right? So again, even in masculinity, there are two options. Either you become masculine, you embrace it, or you let it go. And I think this is the first time I've come across that word. I think that's something that I could actually use, but that's a very interesting topic. I think yes, men are not taking their responsibilities. I also think this is also because of the fact that, and I'm talking specifically about the Western culture because I interact with a lot of people in the West, is that things are so chaotic right now. There's so much noise, and they think, why should I put in so much effort in this relationship when maybe after 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, this woman might actually think that, this is not working out, and she can walk out, take 50% or more of your wealth, and whereas this man might have worked day in, day out to earn that, right? Whereas, I mean, in the India, if you compare that kind of functionality or that kind of dynamics still not exist, because again, we are in the footsteps of the West. If you don't stop ourselves, my personal opinion to Indians especially has always been, learn from people, learn what they are doing, learn from that community, learn from that culture. What are some good things that we can actually incorporate in our lives? If that makes sense, if that helps you become a better person, helps the lives of people around you, adopt it. But don't adopt things that seem fancier to you. Following anything the West does, now there's crisis going on. We might also come across and face the same crisis down the lane. I definitely see a lot of people also getting inspired by the West and doing things like, let's say masculinity. As I mentioned, masculinity is provide and protect, right? In India, now there are more and more men that say, what, stay away from masculinity. I'm like, why are you even saying that? We need masculine people. Otherwise, when things will get tough, who's going to come in and actually protect the people that are required? And anyone who says we don't need masculinity, then what do we need? You need both the ends of the puzzle, right? There are always two sides of the coin, heads and tails. You need both. You can't say I will only go with tails and heads doesn't work. I mean, we need to work with both of these.